So this topic is about demand because we have been discussing that pricing factors, and one of the factors, which is, I mean, you can relate them, that is price and demand. In general, we understand that if the price goes up, demand goes down. If the price goes down, demand goes up. So businesses, companies, when they want to, sell more or they want to have more demand, they just decrease prices, they give discounts so that demand can increase. So these are two related to each other. So relationship between price and volume. Here by volume we mean demand, like the volume of sales or this is actually demand. So price impacts volume sold. Since a high price will normally lower the volume sold, we understand that if price goes up, just picking up my pen, if price goes up, uh, demand will fall. Okay. But despite this, organizations may consider increasing revenue if the fall in volume sold is lower than the increase in the price, which means that maybe you can increase price by, let's suppose, 20%. So if you increase price by 20%, you know that the demand for your goods may fall down, but probably you are thinking that it may fall down only by 5%. So you are going to make more money here and you will lose some money because some of the customers will go away, will walk out, will walk away from you. But businesses, they expect sometimes, like it says that the companies may consider that even if we increase the price, some customers will walk away, but ultimately, probably the total revenue will increase. It again depends on the nature of the product you are selling, okay? And it depends on the type of organization you have, how much competition you have, and what other options customers they have. Can they walk away with you or not? Where this is the case, the demand is said to be unresponsive to price changes or is price inelastic. When demand is price inelastic, it means, or relatively inelastic. Um, it's not absolutely inelastic. It should be, we should call it relatively inelastic. It means that a bigger change in price would result a smaller change in the demand. If you remember, we have done this thing, or we know this thing, that the demand curve is actually a negatively sloping curve. Demand curve is a negatively sloping curve, which means that if we put price here and if we put demand here, so when price was higher, demand was this much here. As we decrease the price to this point, you can see that demand is increasing. So price is coming down, demand is increasing. So they are inversely in relation to each other, okay? Negatively related to each other. Now, you might have a demand curve which, let's make some shapes to see elastic or inelastic thing, okay? So I'll just make two of them. So one option is that the demand curve, it looks like this. One option is that a demand curve, it looks like this, let's suppose. So what does that mean? So if you make it from here to here, and then this to this. So what do we understand? We can see that this is price here, this is demand here. A very big change in price, maybe increasing or decreasing, will cause a little change in the demand. The demand is, this is actually where you say price is relatively inelastic. So before you were here, your price was $10 and your demand was somewhere here. But then what happened that you increased the price to 20, but the demand decreased by very little percentage, maybe by just 5%. So price has gone up by 100%, demand has decreased, but it only decreased by, say, 10-20%. This is relatively, where a small change in a big change in price, it causes a small change in demand. On the other hand, if you consider this curve, and if I'm making it right, so this is actually exactly opposite of that, where a small change in price will cause a big change in demand. So you increase the price a little bit from 10, you only went up to 12. And you can see that it has gone down from here to this point. When it was 10, it was here. Now, when you made it 12, it come down here. So a small change in the price is causing a bigger change in demand. What type of products? These usually are luxury products, which are not necessities. People can skip them, people can leave them anytime. Let's call it chocolates. This usually are necessities which people they still have to buy it. Even if the price is increasing, they still need to buy. Maybe you can consider milk. Okay. So you understand that there is a relationship. And if you notice that these curves which I have drawn, so what we say that they have different slopes, like this one or that one or that one. All of them is downward sloping, but the slope, the angle is different. And that slope actually, that is known as elasticity here. We call it elasticity of demand. Elasticity means that how quickly or how elastic the demand is. Elastic means the ability to, to flex or to change, or how quickly it changes. So the slope, so three curves we actually drew, and they actually refer you the how the product is elastic or inelastic. Like I said, price, these are relatively inelastic. If I use the word inelastic, it means there is absolutely no change. This is also possible. For example, you have a curve like this and like this. um, for example, here, price is this much, demand is still this, price goes up, demand stays there, price is this much, this is called perfectly inelastic. So price and demand, they've got no connection. And demand, it stays there, demand, it stays there, whatever price it is, it will remain there. Okay. So we are not talking about this one. We talk about relatively elastic, relatively inelastic. For example, this one is relatively elastic demand because it changes very fast. This one is relatively inelastic because it changes very little. There is a little change, so inelastic. There is a bigger change, so it is elastic. So we need to actually mathematically calculate how much is the elasticity here. And this we are going to do. So price elasticity of demand. So this measures the extent of the change in market demand for a product or service in response to a change in its price. So for example, price was $10, demand was 100. So businesses, they actually need to know. So sometimes, I mean, this is like we call it theoretically or hypothetically, which the calculation which we'll do mathematical. In reality, the market might reflect slightly differently, but businesses, they do need to understand that if my price is $20 and I sell 100 units, what if I increase my price to 25? How much my demand will be there? So demand will fall. I understand. But whether it will come down to 95 or 90 or 80, or maybe it will become 50, I need to know how many customers I'm going to lose or how much volume I'm going to lose. I need to know before I increase the price. So we need to actually calculate this part. And to predict or to calculate the expected market demand with the new proposed price, you need to know the elasticity. So we say that this price elasticity of demand, it measures the change in the market demand for a product or service in response to a change in its price. That if price changes from 20 to 25, in response, how much the demand will change. And the formula, we call it PED, price elasticity of demand. The formula is percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in price. So you will have some historical data based on which you will do. Okay, for example, if I have my price here and if I have my demand here, and I have several price points. I have historically, I have 20, 22, 25, or maybe 28 prices. And the demand was probably 100, and then it went down to 90, it went down to 85, it went down to 75. So based on this data, I know that they are related. It is going, it is the price is increasing, the demand is decreasing. There is some relationship, and there is demand is elastic because it is changing, but how much it is. So percentage change in demand. So you will take 2 points and find out the percentage and then divide by the percentage in price. We will do this thing actually in while doing questions. The value of elasticity may be anything from 0 to infinity. I mean, it cannot be less than 0 from 0 onward. Value of elasticity, the result of the formula in absolute terms is less than 1, the demand is inelastic. Yeah, if it is less than 1, if the answer, if your PED answer, this answer, it comes less than 1, the demand is inelastic, which means that demand changes less, or a bigger change in price will cause a small change in demand. So when I say demand inelastic, which means that demand is not fluctuating. It is not fluctuating very fast, actually. It might fluctuate, but not very fast if it is less than 1. If it is greater than 1, then it is elastic. If it is greater than 1, so if you remember the curve, let me draw them again for you, this one. And then I said this one. So this one most probably is less than 1, and this one is greater than 1. Here, the PED, because there was a very little change in demand with a bigger change in price. And here, a smaller change in price was causing a bigger change in demand. So here, your elasticity is greater than 1. Okay, this is what it means. Factors determining price elasticity of demand. So now we talk about what are the factors which are causing demand to change. When we say price elasticity of demand, so what are the factors which are, causing demand to change? So these are the factors actually. I mean, these are three factors. They are not all of them, but these are the three most important factors. Number one is income. Number two is degree of necessity. I mean, how if the product or the service which you are using, is it a necessity or is it a luxury or what? Or availability of alternative product. So in income, if a good takes up a low percentage of customer income, customers will be less sensitive to price rises. I mean, if your income is bigger, okay, if I just forget about for a moment about income, and I give you another example which will help you to understand income. So let's suppose you have got a family budget. Maybe your family budget is $3,000 per month. If you want, you can increase or decrease. I'm just assuming a number. Out of this $3,000, how much salt do you buy? How much money do you spend on salt? Maybe you spent only $2 on salt per month. So if you find out that tomorrow that the price of salt has increased by 100%, so from 100%, if it increases, it goes to $4. So will it make any difference to you? Although salt is absolute, maybe salt becomes cheaper or free. You don't start eating more or you don't start eating less because salt is salt. But I'm just trying to explain that because it is only taking $2 of $2 from your $3,000 budget. So an increase of 100% means an additional $2, you will not be hurt. Okay, let's talk about water. If we consider water, gas, and electricity, usually water is very cheap. So an increase in the price of water, because water probably I have to pay maybe $20 out of my this total budget. So maybe water increases by 50%, the price of water goes to 30 per month, still I'm not very much affected. But then remember that fuel, the petrol which I use is $500 per month. And when petrol increases by 50%, of course it will not because people will die, it becomes 750. That's a bigger thing. So that hurts me. So it depends on that how much, if a good or service takes up a low percentage of your income or your budget. You can consider it your income, you can consider your budget. Customers will be less sensitive to price rises because it is taking just 0.05% of my budget. But something which takes 20% of my budget, maybe fuel, maybe my house rent, if that changes, I will be more reactive. Then the second thing is degree of necessity. Maybe item is essential or not, medicine, milk, maybe some baby foods, and so on. Prices go up, you still have to buy. If the product is not a necessity, you can just leave it. If price goes up, you say, okay, I don't need it, I'm leaving. Then availability of alternative products. Do you have other alternatives or not? If there are few alternative substitute goods or services, there will be a smaller fall in demand. So if there is not a lot of competition in the market, you don't buy this one, what else do you do? Then you have to take it. But if a product has a lot of substitutes, a lot of alternatives, and customers can easily switch from your product to another product, so then your product is price sensitive. And then you have to take care before you make a decision to increase the price. Remember, if your product has elastic demand, and if your product demand is sensitive to price, then businesses or companies, they need to be more careful before they take decisions on pricing. There are some businesses on the other side which are monopolies. I mean, monopolies do not really exist today in most economies, but there are some um, there are few things which still are economies in many countries, if not all, because government, they control it. For example, electricity. In many countries, electricity is still provided by the government, and people, they do not have an option to buy electricity from anyone else. Government owns the power lines. Governments, they own the powerhouses. So if they increase the price of electricity, people, they have to buy it. The same happens with fuel. The government decide the prices of fuel. Even the fuel goes up, people have to buy it. You've got a car. Yes, what you can do that you can, start driving less, but still people, they buy it. So it is like inelastic. But so the demand is relatively inelastic in case of fuel, because if there are some factories, they have to work. Transport, it has to work. Buses and trucks and lorries, they have to work. um, People, they have to drive their cars. So you need to understand how much is the necessity of the product and what other alternatives are available to customers.